Good morning. We could do better than that. Good morning. Good morning. All right. So, welcome to District 1 Satellite Hours at the Motor City Java House. Everybody's kind of light today, I guess we got some folks coming. All right. Well, my name is Erin Hall, for anyone that doesn't know me. I'm kidding. Social projects and partnerships. Erin is not going to be here today, but we still got the rest of our team. We have Aisha Mitchell. Give it up. We got Reggie Alexander in the back. Give it up for Reggie. And give it up for yourselves for coming out this morning. Nothing is off the table to talk about. We are streaming from Facebook or on Facebook, so say good morning to everyone on Facebook. Don't need a talk show. But what that means is we're using microphones so that they can hear us. Please be mindful when Aisha or any of us pass you the mic to put the mic directly in front of your face, as she is so lovely demonstrating. I know it feels awkward, but that's how we can hear you, and they can hear us at home on Facebook. All right, so is there anyone here visiting for the first time? Any first-time visitors? No one? So we're all at home right now. Which we always do, I feel like. I was like, what am I supposed to talk about? Oh, monthly meeting. So, as you all know, we have our monthly meeting tomorrow. So, we will have monthly meeting tomorrow. I know a lot of times people ask, you're going to have satellite hours and then monthly meeting the next day? Yes. There's a lot to discuss and talk about. Satellite hours is our first and third Friday of the month. We don't have a set agenda. Councilman is available for everyone to speak to him directly. And our monthly meeting, for some of you that know, or most of you know, we have a full agenda.
Thank you. All right, so our meeting is going to be right down the street at Pure Word Missionary Baptist Church right down on Grand River with a tall spire at Evergreen and Grand River 20011 Grand River. All right, so we got the city. They're being installed by the city to try to slow down or calm traffic, speeding traffic. Okay, so we're going to have the deputy director of DPW here tomorrow at the church tomorrow at 10 a.m. To speak about speed humps. She's going to give a presentation. She's going to let you know how different. That's really important. We're also going to have DPSCD, as well as some updates, hopefully, on what's going on with two of topics. We always have a business spotlight. This month is going to be a place called J.C. Jones Boot Camp. I went there and shot some video. It's a gym, but it's like a gym plus. So they work them and they work them hard. So people looking to get in shape. I was there and I got tired just looking at the work. So I would suggest you guys come out tomorrow. Hopefully you can make it. And one of the last topics I want to talk about personally, this is Men's Health Month. We're going to have a neurologist from Detroit Medical Center who's going to come in to talk about stroke risk. It's important to me because A few years ago, I had what was called a TIA, which is a trans ischemic attack, which is sort of like I used to think was, people said it was warning stroke. My doctor told me no, it's a mini stroke. It means that you had one. What happened to me, I got scared, I ran to the bathroom, looked at my face. First thing I thought, something's happening to me, so I checked my face, I didn't see anything weird. Doctor said, get out of here, go to the hospital. Went to the hospital, and when they can't find any residual effects, they do the stroke protocol, squeeze this, bend your foot, do these things. When they can't find anything, that's what they attribute it to. I had another one a few years ago, and then more recently, like a week and a half ago, I had an instance where my blood pressure was through the roof. It was like 200 over 110. I went to emergency. They kept me there for a while. I came home, and they just told me, you gotta take it easy. So I'm managing and a whole bunch of relaxation, drastically changing my diet, doing a lot of different things. But this, purposeful sleeping, yeah. Make sure you get sleeping in a regular routine. But it's important to me, and it should be important to everybody here, because high blood pressure is what they call a silent killer, and there's a reason for it. That morning before I went to emergency, I had a sinus infection. So I went to urgent care. It was a Sunday morning, and I went in, and they took my blood pressure, and it came back 170 over 110. They said, it's kind of high. I said, take my medication. I don't know what's going on. Turns out the decongestants I was taking was counteracting the effect of the blood pressure medication. Plus, I was supposed to be on a water pill too, which I was not taking. So it helps to take your medication if you have to. But long story short, I ended up going to emergency, and as a result, thank God, God's blessing, I'm still here and nothing horrible happened to me. But it's the kind of thing that you all have to think about, because some people are literally walking around ticking time bombs and they don't know it. And sometimes I feel God gave me 3 chances to get it together, and still nothing's happened. I don't know I'm gonna get a 4th, so I'm making the steps I have to make to change that. But you can easily be walking around, like I said, a ticking time bomb and not know it. So if you have any of those issues, like high blood pressure, cholesterol, check regularly, do what you're supposed to do. Don't take it for granted that just because you feel a little twitch or pain or something, that it's just muscle, it's nothing. Don't be a hypochondriac and run to the doctor every 5 minutes either, but be cognizant of what's going on in your own body, and don't take things for granted that because you've been fortunate a few times is going to continue, because anything eventually will run out of steam if it's not fed properly. And I heard something the other day where they said, we put a lot of attention into our vehicles. We know what gas to put in it, we put the right oil, we clean the tires, we do all. Come out of it, and that's not how it works. You can't live off of junk, we can't live off of processed food, salt, and all those things, and just think that our body's going to say, oh yeah, that's fine, I'll work on that. And it will. It will work on that as long as it's optimal. At the point at which your body says, hey, I've had enough of this, it's going to say, you keep doing what you're doing, I'm going to go over in the corner and sit down. And when it does, you're going to be down. And that's it. And sometimes
you gotta save a little for tomorrow.
I'm sorry. Well, okay. I'll tell you what.
I definitely.
I will continue tomorrow. You'll have to come tomorrow to find out whether or not I survive.
You will be here tomorrow.
Whether or not I survived, what happened?
Oh, okay.
That was a joke. Bad joke.
Give it up for Reggie. Thank you, Reggie. No, it's very important. I just want him to save a little bit for tomorrow, and I don't know, maybe we'll talk a little more with counseling later. So I think we just want to go around. We want to see who's in the room. Oh, I want to ask a question. Did I already say the first beverage is free on counseling? Well, we all at home. I didn't say it, but okay. So the first beverage is on counseling tape. All right. So we're gonna go around the room and just introduce yourself, your name, your community, where you're from. So if it's a neighborhood block club that you're a part of, and what those boundaries are. Just real quick. Nice and loud, too. Says the girl with the squeaky voice.
Mine is too.
All right.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Nanette Wade. I work for Development Centers, which is a behavioral health organization that we provide services, behavioral health services and employment services to, I like to say, from cradle to grave. So we have services in our schools and behavioral health, mental health services, early child and family, Head Start, early Head Start. So we run the gamut. So we like to come and hear what's going on with the councilman, as well as to see how we can be a part and to contribute something.
Good, thank you. Thank you.
Good morning, Benny Latimer, Hayden Street Block Club, from Grand River to 6 Mile.
Thank you. Good morning.
George Etheridge, Castle Rouge Civic Association.
Good morning.
I'm Jetty Wells. I'm with the CNBC Cherokee North Fork Berg and Chippewa East of Berg Road Association.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Shirley Ford, and our block club has a lot of trouble getting started, so it's off and on.
Do y'all have a name?
Well, I live on Stout.
Okay. So what area are you in?
We're in the Redford, whatever, the neighborhood.
Okay.
See how much I know about it. But,
No, that's okay.
but anyway, we're in what is it, the Redford?
Oh, Redford area.
Yeah, we're in Old Redford.
Okay.
The triangle.
But the neighbor.
See, this is how we help each other.
But as far as you going next door, they call it a certain area. No, it has Redford.
Evergreen Manor.
You were right.
In the triangle.
I'm looking for that name that's on the next door website, but I can't remember what it is.
So I was just going to suggest you could connect with Reggie or Miss Latrice is here today to help you with your neighborhood block
Okay,
club.
so
But we
I don't have any block club connections. I'm a retiree, been one for a while, and I love being retired. So I haven't assumed any other duties or responsibilities except living life.
Hey, you earned it.
Good morning. My name is Annette Flowers, and I'm with the Fenmore Summit Block Club. That's on, that's on Fenmore between Puritan and Florence.
I'm Paulette Watson. I'm with O'Hare Park Association. That's between Southfield and Evergreen and 7 Mile and 8 Mile.
I'm Marie Mill from Patton Street. We don't have a block club yet, but
Good morning. I'm Viola. We don't have a block club either.
Miss Viola, I need to talk to you. It's some good stuff, so make sure.
Josh Engel, Grandmont, board member, and CB Patrol secretary.
Good morning.
Doug Russell, Detroit Blockworks.
Kenneth Jones, growth director.
Good morning, thank you.
Latrice McClendon, District Manager, Mayor's Office for District 1.
Hey, Latrice.
How you doing? Marcus Barnes. I don't know my official block club. I live on Prevost. I have a Marcus Barnes porch club where the little kids come over and sit on my porch while I'm drinking coffee and ask a lot of questions that I try to find the answers for. So it's all good. So I'm just trying to help when I can, where I can.
Okay.
Thank you.
That's doing your part.
Good afternoon. My name is Christina Wilson, and I belong to Harvest Community Block Club. And my husband over there, he will give you the boundaries.
Hi, I'm Diane Hankson, and I live in Riverdale. That's Telegraph to Lasser and Puritan to 6 Mile.
When Rivers B for Community Block Club Association, 2 blocks, 6 Mile in Vernon.
Good morning, Barbara Poindexter, St. Mary's Block Club between Kendall and Schoolcraft.
Virgil Wilson, Harvest Community Block Club, Woodbine, 5.7 mile to Frisbee.
Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I'm James Liddell, President of the Grandmont Citizens Radio Patrol. Our boundaries are north of Schoolcraft, east of Southfield, south of Grand River, and west of
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Tanisha Johnson, the District 1 Business Liaison. Good morning. I think that's everybody. Do we miss anyone? Oh, yeah. So next week is Discover D1. How many of you all have been to our Cash Flash? I see some hands. I was saying, I know it was Mother's Day. All right, so the Cash Flash is part of our Discover D1, our business initiative. So you all know we have like the online directory, right? That gives you access to, I think, are we up to 650 or businesses and churches in our district? So you don't have to drive really far. There's a lot of those. Reggie mentioned earlier, our spotlight for our monthly meeting will be the boot camp gym, which I need to stop in there. But our Cash Flash is also our opportunity to love on a business of our choosing for that particular event. And so this one coming up, there's going to be multiple businesses in place. Reggie, don't go far. Can you help me out on those businesses? So there will be, Page's Bookshop, Detroit Vegan Soul, Garden Bug, the Norwest Gallery. So that's the area right on Grand River between Outer Drive and Evergreen. So what we're planning to do on, what's the date, Wednesday?
Wednesday the 26th.
That's so sad. I'm sorry, y'all. Y'all know more than me, but that's great. Because that means y'all kind of know about it. That's good. With it being less than a week, right? It is a lot. Thank you, Mr. Liddell. It is a lot. But, so it'll be Wednesday. That's the 26th from 6 to 8 p.m. So we're really excited about this one because this will be, I think this is the first outdoor one, right? Oh, yeah, I forgot. Yeah, we did do that. The garden. Yeah, that one's for like October, Halloween. So we're excited about this one because it's going to take place over a few different businesses, as I just mentioned. You know, we have an outdoor DJ and a tent and a bunch of giveaways. And then what will make it exciting is everyone from the neighborhood and community coming. So please, please, please share that information with everyone you know. We will be looking forward to that event. Reggie, am I missing anything about that?
No, I mean, we're going to have live entertainment.
Live entertainment, raffles. That's it. And you. And I said that's it. The tent is going to be, isn't there, there's a lot next to Reggie? Is it next to Spivey?
So it's going to be next to Pages.
Oh, you got the microphone.
Sorry, I'm not used to speaking at the satellite hours, but so next to Pages there is a building that's like red or burgundy or whatnot. That next to that building there will be staging, so that's where you can plan to kind of conjugate, but it will be between Outer Drive and Evergreen on Grand River. So
the north side of Grand River. Which will be good too, because in light of the Grand River streetscape coming, I think that was really what we wanted to do too, to bring focus so that during that time when they're reconstructing that area, we don't forget that those businesses are still open. There will still be access to them as well. Yeah, go ahead.
I just want to say I finally got to River Bistro. I don't know if everybody's been there. I mean, I thought I was going to die. It was so good. My friend and I went there, and also there's a little, I wish I could, Kebab Palace or something in the shopping center. If you like Middle Eastern food, it's excellent. And I won, at one of our community meetings, I won a massage or I had a gift certificate for Spa Appeal.
Yes.
And they are wonderful. And they have all kinds of services there. They have haircuts for men and different things. So, and I love the woman that owns it. So check that out too. It's really nice.
Ms. Haynes, what did you have at River Bistro? Do you remember?
The chicken wings, which I never eat. I couldn't help it. No, I don't, because I don't eat like fried food and stuff. And the Brussels sprouts, and I mean, we were both just salivating.
That's an awesome place to have lunch. I had lunch there after. Vegan Soul is good too. Are there any other businesses in our area that people want to give a shout out to? Any place you've been? Old Radford Cafe recently? They're really good for breakfast. Okay. So what we're gonna do now, I'm still waiting. Does anybody have anything that they would like to bring to our attention? This is our opportunity for you to talk directly with our office. Let us know what's going on in the neighborhood, and we take those issues very seriously and their concerns. Councilman works with us on those if we are not able, if the staff ourselves are not able to get them resolved for you. So we have anyone? You want to? Can she get the microphone over here? Well, y'all know this. So the second rule is we have to use the microphone.
My question is about advanced disposal.
Right.
With those bags, for the leaves and that kind of stuff. Why are they still, so many of them still piled up?
So how far in advance are they not being picked up after the pickup date?
I've been about there for weeks.
So you have to let us know where it is and what days that, was it last week? If you put it out last week and it's still out this week, so we can get that info, or I can get that info.
But aren't they just supposed to just pick them up, all those on the same day stuff now?
Yes, they should. They should, if it's that correct week.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's every other week.
I email Richard Burke. You want his email?
You have it out right now?
Yes, I do. And he's very good. He needs to know if his guys are doing a good job. Because call in advance doesn't get you anywhere. Richard Burke is in charge of our area. Burke at Advanced Disposal. I'm assuming it's .com right here. Right? At advanced.com, I think. Yeah, and his phone number. I prefer emailing because then you have a record. But Richard will get back to you on
Some
email.
folks don't have access to email.
Oh, okay.
If you have the number out, if you don't, I can give the number.
I'm just not good at this.
Yes, you are.
His number is 313-288-7834, and I know he's given this out at other meetings. So
one more time.
313-288-7834, and he's even brought me things to my home on trash pickup and stuff to hand out to neighbors. He's very receptive.
Okay, so without further ado, because you don't really want to talk to me, I love talking to you, but the man of the hour, give it up for Councilman Tate.
Hello, everyone. Yeah, so I walked in and we were talking about the advanced disposal issue. Did you give them the whole full Monty of what we got?
No, she just asked that question.
everything. But I'm not that. I gotta be careful what I say this morning. So Danielle, do you So we made a phone call, a number of calls. We received a number of complaints and issues. Over the last couple of weeks. If we can't find it, don't worry about it. Okay, no worries. So just want to let you know that I did in fact talk to the director of DPW, and he actually had the folks from Advance in his office at that time. We sent them no less than 15 locations all throughout the district. Now, what we also found out, which we weren't aware, now I'm going to just ask, because we do pretty well with getting communication out to the community, and be prepared. Aisha, can anyone tell us the changes that were made, or at least told to us that were made regarding advanced disposal? I think we have someone over here, Aisha. That's right. You will be tested.
I was big about recycling, but now they are picking up our recycling bin on the same day they pick up trash, but still every other week. Well, but it's trying to remember that, and it's not anybody's age or anything else, trying to remember to put it out on a Tuesday when yesterday was trash day. It was hard to kind of keep it straight. My neighbor would watch to see if mine was out because he couldn't remember. I mean, but that makes it much more convenient. And they were right spot on about they just threw out there. They didn't tie them up. And I mean, they did say that about what they want 4 feet. The guy announced that here as well. But people are compliant with that part. They do get them. It's just this last few weeks with all the rain. I know how the leaf bags get wet.
That essentially just putting everything on the same day. Make it real convenient for folks. So, makes sense, right? So once I made the phone call, we found out that there are at least 2,000 residents in the city of Detroit properties that actually their days changed. Completely changed. So we didn't know that. Now this is all of the advanced disposals area. So you know they do the west side of the city, and you have GFL, I believe it's called. They do the east side of the city. So there's 2 different contracts. I'm not sure how that contract changed, to be honest with you. I don't recall, let me put it that way. But Advance, we were told it was only going to be the shifting of the days, but now we're finding out that 2,000 homeowners had their days actually shifted. And so we're adjusting that and addressing that issue. I apologize on behalf of, for anybody who may have been within that 2,000, but we want to fix that and figure out how to make sure that the community understands and is aware of the date change, because there's a need. They have to shift their resources. I mean, it's not easy to put everything on one day when that's not the way that you operate in the first place. But you've got to have that plan in place before you implement it. And it shouldn't take this long, in my opinion, if you're a professional organization that's getting paid, it's a contract. Right after you receive the contract renewal, this kind of stuff does not bode well.
They sent a notice to every home. They have no problem. I have no problem.
Well, did your day get changed? Told that their day was changed.
It said
You can't say, you just said you didn't know.
it's an A&G week.
Okay.
We have a question over here.
Yes.
This is just to tie into what everyone's saying. The biggest problem I'm seeing is that the compliance is out of order. If the compliance is out of order, they don't do anything about it, and it doesn't seem that there's a backstop for it. When someone moves out, or a renter moves out, and the whole curb is full, I asked him about this, and I think I talked to Richard. He said that the compliance is out of order, but nothing's going to happen about it. Nothing. So I'm getting a trailer, and I'm going to move some trash that my neighbor put out when he moved, but there's no, where's the backstop?
So there is something that can happen. And Latrice, if you wouldn't mind, you all know Latrice. Latrice, the Clinton District 1 Manager. Give me a round of applause. Come on up. Got her nerdy gangster on today. All right, so I know there's these one-offs that we talk about. Have a seat, ladies first. Go ahead.
Trying to keep me up here.
That's right. So Latrice, tell us about the one-offs. If you have a situation that Jeff just talked about, what should you do?
Okay, so a couple things. First of all, any trash issues, you guys can call my office all the time, right? Even without not bothering Richard Burke, but you can call me directly, and we'll be in contact with Richard about any trash issues that you guys have in your neighborhood. Like Diane said, he's very responsive. He'll get out if something is missed, take care of it, try to get to it as soon as possible. My phone number, you can call me, Latrice, or Kaya, who's my deputy. Her phone number is 313-236-3473. Her name is Kaya Roberson. You can also call me at 313-236-3484. And you can also text us if you have an issue or email us. Go give me no slower. To Kaya, 313-236-3473. And I'm Latrice. 313-236-3484. Now, say someone moves out, right, and they put all their stuff. That's like a huge pet peeve for me, right?
That's actually illegal to put all this stuff out there. You're supposed to have a
dumpster, exactly. So what we would do is we would contact DPW. You can call me directly. That is a huge pet peeve for me. I hate seeing that in the neighborhood. So I'm on like a witch hunt to like get everybody who does that, get that garbage out the neighborhood. We call DPW. DPW will come and pick it up, and they will issue a ticket to the owner of that home. Okay? And so if you guys have those situations, okay, you can call me, and we'll get those things picked up and get a ticket issued to whoever or to the homeowner of that particular home. Okay?
I think we have Aisha some questions back there for Latrice.
So I know I just heard that they moved out, but the homeowner. So if it's a renter, right, and they put their stuff on the curb, the homeowner is still responsible. So then the homeowner has to go after the renter. That's between them and the renter.
I know you encourage use of the Improve Detroit app for a lot of that stuff. There's nothing in there for like overgrowth, tall grass, things of that nature when it's getting out of hand before it becomes a serious issue. So how do we report that? I think the code is 18 inches is a violation.
Right, so we have a District 1 inspector. His name is Randy Schumann. He also works with my office. You can call me directly. You can reach out to Randy Schumann, and we will send an inspector out to that location. And yeah, but on the app, I don't know. There is not a tall grass. I have to let me look at it because I don't recall a specific section right now that would go with like tall weeds. So you would have to call me and say, hey, Latrice's house is out of compliance, and we would get the District 1 inspector out.
Latrice, I have two comments, if I will. First of all, who would I give? I've got a file here on the recycling, advanced recycling. I went on vacation for 10 days. The week we were supposed to change, and I am the treasurer of our block club, 45 houses. For everyone who has a recycling bin, they picked up on the opposite side of the street and did not pick up on my side of the block. I called them. I went down the street, asked everybody to leave it out. I was told, give them 72 hours and they'll be back out. I went on vacation 10 days and came back, and it was still there. Some people took theirs in. I called into the office for Mr. Bird. I was told he's on vacation. Then I was given Mr. Smith. He promised he would get it up by yesterday. They're still out there when I left to come up here today. But I have a file. Previously, that was last year, that was different months before the change, but it's a continuous job for me, following up, getting confirmation numbers, getting names. There is one lady, which I will send something to Mr. Burt regarding, her name is April. She is down that she tells you and she follows through. She told me she sent memos up to 4 different supervisors. I got all the information. I just need to know, do I just give it to Daniela? Do I give it to you? Who?
Yes, because I'll tell you once again, as Latrice said, make sure that she knows, because when the district managers were created, they're created to deal with the issue of blight. And whether it's blight from some other property or if it's some trash that we put out there that's justifiably there, it could be considered blight if it just sits there day after day after day, especially if you're talking about over a week. So definitely let Latrice know, definitely let me know, and our office know, because we're the ones who signed the contract.
Yes.
So we should know that information too. We're creating a list of our own. And as I mentioned to you before, we have no less than 15 that we sent. And one was an 80-year-old woman who is having a birthday party the next Saturday. And she was at her wit's end. Now this is a little bit different of a situation because it was a vacant home. The neighbors went and cleaned the lot next door. Advance told them, no, we can't do that. We can't remove that. That's not true. So we've got to adjust how the individuals who are actually doing on the ground understand what the contract actually says, what they're supposed to do. And I'm not taking the blame off of anybody. I'm not putting the blame on anybody. What I am saying is that my commitment is that that's going to change, because it's amazing to see just that quickly. And I know your block sounds like it's been happening, or your area, for a long time. And now there's going to be some extensive attention over there. But for this to continue, it just doesn't make sense. So we're, as the city, taking it very seriously. Again, the director of the department is not blowing it off. He had them in the office when I called and made my complaint to him directly, personally, on his cell phone, in addition to the emails that we sent. So give us about a week. What day is, what's your day?
Our day is on Mondays.
Okay, so yours is coming up.
Yes.
So we need to get your information and those locations from you, so we can shoot that through to the director and do what we can to make sure that's not a problem on Monday.
And then my second concern would be, there is the company, the contractors that come around to cut grass or knock it down on vacant property. They did come and they did do, and I ran in the house to get my camera, and I need to show you what they did, and it was sad. And I went out and addressed the fellas, and I had one fella tell me, well, then you and some more people need to come out here and get together and clean it up. I wait a minute, you're being paid to do this. And it was just so happened that his supervisor in another car was coming, because I was out there just acting ridiculous, and I know it now. But and it brought out the men on my block. Everybody like, who you talking to? What's going on? And so the supervisor had someone else pick it up. But what they tell me is they come around in 3 different trucks. One comes, whacks it down. They don't have mowers to go into those lots. So they're doing a little whack job, and then somebody else comes and pick up the paper that they see hanging around. Then someone else comes and edges. It all was piss poor. And I'm like, this couldn't happen anywhere. He told me, we have thousands of houses to hit in a day. Okay, I hear you. I don't expect for it to be manicured like mine is, but I expect something way better than what I saw. I mean, it was real bad. But I don't know who to report that to. I have the car. I called there, same response. So I need someone, whether it's Mr. Tate, you, that I can give this information to, because from now on I'm clipping pictures. But it's just sad. They're not doing a decent, they're not even doing a 10%. It's horrible. It's like, why did you even come?
So, just as a reminder, so all these kind of issues you can call, of course, Councilman Tate's office, you can call me, and so we can take it right to the director, right to the mayor, right to whoever we need to get it to if it's being done. If you have pictures, you can always send it to me. So all these kind of issues, even with Richard Berg, let me just say, if you guys have a block club, have him come out to your block club meeting and address your issues with your block club. He will get on circuit and come actually out to talk to you guys. Just FYI about your recycling days. And if you need help in doing that, or you would like me to come with him, we can do that together. No, I know. I'm just addressing that issue. And then back to the whole grass situation. I can ride over there today and take a look at what you're talking about. But we can always, if you give me the information, I can take the complaint up and see what we can do to fix it. Now, I will say that they are not cutting to make it look like your grass. Like, we need to keep that in mind. But, however, I understand, because I have seen some jobs around the neighborhood that's been kind of funny. there's been a lot of rain, right, which has delayed the team, and the grass has been extremely high, like it's soggy, and so that could contribute a little bit to what you're seeing. Because I was out on the field, we couldn't get to the. I had on my rain boots. The water was all the way up there, so that complaint, and it was almost as tall as me, but we couldn't cut it because it was so soggy and so muddy. When they went back to cut it, I went back out there. It does look like somebody took hay and they just cut it down, but that was literally the best job they can do given the condition, because it was also still wet. So just asking for a little grace in that area as we figure out if it's because of the water or the rain, or is it because of their work. So let me take a look at it, and then we'll bring some attention to it.
But let me just say this: I certainly appreciate the fact that you reached out to the entities that are responsible first, because it's important for us to know how it works. People will come directly to me, and we'll make the phone call, and then it gets resolved, right? Or it is at least being addressed in some capacity. So it's important for us to know that you reach out first to the department or the individuals or entities that are responsible for it, so then we can evaluate the true effectiveness of what's going on. So you did exactly what we're asking folks to do. We're going to get that information. But once you don't get that response, make sure you make the call to us next, because then we can give a better evaluation of what is actually taking place.
Yes, I'm at my wit's end. There is a house. There's a house on the corner of Bond and Grove, 16779 Haven Street. I've pursued every avenue so far. The windows, every single window was broken out of the house for over a year. The windows have just now been replaced. Right now, there must be 8 cubic yards of waste on the corner of Bond and Grove. I've tried every avenue. There is a construction project that started 4 years ago where the garage was converted into a room. There's blank wood, plywood up to the area. It's been like that for over 4 years.
So that's construction material you're saying is also?
No, the construction was never completed. There's no construction debris right now. But I'm really at my wit's end because I don't know what else to do. Right now, there are at least 6, maybe 7 mattresses, chairs, furniture. Yesterday, someone just drove by and threw garbage bags on the street in front of the house. So they're using it like a public dump. I don't know what else to do. I want the garbage gone. I'm embarrassed to invite anyone to my house because for over a year, all of the windows were broken out. The grass had not been cut for over a year. This house has been in non-compliance for over 10 years with overgrown grass, tree branches, 15 feet long, never cut down to the legal limit, never bundled. Right now, there are tree branches, furniture, mattresses, everything in front of that house. I don't know what else to do.
So now you're reporting it to us?
Yes.
So let's make sure for my office that Daniela has that address.
Environmental. I've made calls and sent emails to the district office. The house is still out of compliance. We had garbage pickup 2 weeks ago. The garbage that was there was never picked up. Now some people have added more garbage to the pile.
Broken windows, right?
Right.
It's like the broken windows.
It's like the broken windows.
So what we'll
They've
do is...
replaced the windows now. They did replace the windows about a month ago, 3 weeks ago.
So what we'll do is, we have the information, Latrice has it as well. Now we're gonna work together to make sure the director of the department knows, and we also can get Randy out there.
Yeah, we're gonna get Randy out there today. So we'll handle that today. And when I get from off the stage, when he lets me go, right? I'll look up the.
You will never be able to leave.
It's right on the corner of Bond and Grove.
Yeah, we'll look at ownership and figure out who owns it, and we'll start that process. Okay. Thank you.
And All right. right, so we got a few more. So let's get all of Latrice's questions out so she can go on about her day as well, because we thank you for being here, because sometimes we need you, and we have some questions, and today you are.
Latrice, this is not about you directly. This is for Councilman Tate, Daniela, and for Tiffany Jones. I came to my first meeting of Councilman Tate's last week, and I mentioned the condition of the lawns left by the water department project to replace the lead service line. I was here last Friday at 11:30. On Tuesday, the inspection team was out there from the contractor. So when you think contacting anybody to do with the city doesn't get you immediate action, 2 business days is close to immediate as I think I'm ever going to get. So thank you very much.
I was scared. I didn't know what it was. I'm waiting. My heart goes. Thank you. Well, that's. Let me just say this. It's because of my team. So I bring everybody together, but my team is the one that really puts that to motion. So please give my team another round of applause. They do a tremendous job. Thank you.
I want to thank you, Latrice, if you had anything to do with that mountain of trash. Thank you very much. And I hope they don't get a ticket because they weren't the ones that did. Okay, great. I just want to say there's a lot of inconsistencies, and that's confusing people. And as far as trash pickup and stuff, and I went around like this guy that just moved in, put lots of debris on a vacant lot, and I said, they don't pick up stuff on vacant lots, plus you have to bundle it, and I gave him all the information. He was very accommodating, but he left it there. The next day, I guess there was routine pickup, maybe just on, this was a land bank house. They picked the trash up, and the same thing has happened over and over again, where you talk to somebody and you tell them what the rules are nicely and give them the information, but then it's contradicted. You know, there's inconsistencies in trash pickup and what to do. And I know some of the houses, when I turn it in, they say, oh, it's a land bank house. We're turning it into the land bank. So the land bank's dealing with their own properties, it sounds like, and periodically the city goes through and cleans up lots, somebody does. And so people that are prone to dumping continue, and it's residents, it's not people from outside. So there needs to be, and I talked to a neighbor, and he was gonna put a just at sending people. He said, if I take that mattress out and it's gone, and then the next day a truck came by and took the mattress. So that's telling the people on that block, you can put trash in front of this house, and you don't care about looking at it. They just care about, oh, I want to get rid of this mattress. So there's some how to combat this issue, or it's just going to continue.
So the best way is to make sure that we remove the opportunity for that light to be there. So don't hold the mic one more time. So where's the location that you're talking about?
Well, this mattress issue, they picked it up. This is on Chatham. Mostly I deal with people on Chatham Street. That's my street. And I've talked to people about stuff like periodically, like that woman I stopped to see, Latrice, on 6 Mile. They didn't seem like the types that would leave all that trash. You know, they were planting flowers. So I stopped and I said, you know, you could get a ticket for this, you know, and talk to her about it. That's how I learned about it. I mean, this is just happening everywhere in Riverdale, and it's actually escalated, I believe, in the last 4 years.
So I wanted you to know, and I'm glad you brought up Chatham, because you've come here over and over, time and time again, have sent us letters, emails, pictures. You've been out there about the homes on Chatham. I take that to heart, and not that I don't take everything to heart, but it's one thing if we have to consistently over and over and over and over and over, and we're not getting any response. So I will tell you what we did this past week. That's the start. That's the start. So we have at least 10 properties from what we have, 10 properties over there on Chatham Street that are in poor disrepair. talking about, they need to come down. 3 of which are on the demolition list currently. 3 of them we've got, and I had to use a little finesse, legislative finesse to do it. But we've got 3 of them that are on the list that will be coming down in July. We now have 7 others that were being ignored in the past, but are now on the expedited demolition list as well. Now, I don't have a date yet, but we're holding them to it, and because it was something that is tied to another issue that they want passed. So we're using legislative muscle to try to get some of these things done, because it's just, for us, to me, that area is extremely important. We have invested in it. We have the MSU Extension Center. Wait. We definitely need to talk about it, but here's the deal, it's there. There was an investment, we had a big press conference, we're doing redevelopment and all this other stuff.
It may not be there if things don't happen.
I hear you.
I just heard.
Get her mic, please. Let me finish. But remember what was there before MSU Extension Center was there. What was it? Now you're talking.
It was a school,
all right,
and they finally tore it down.
Vacant, dilapidated school that this office made sure that we used some legislative muscle to get torn down. Why? Across the street you had Wellspring that has a low-cost, no-cost Kumon that they literally expanded from, I think, a handful of kids to now about 300 children that they service on a regular basis. And they had to look at this stuff and go through this muck on a daily basis. So we're talking about reinvesting in that neighborhood. We've got to do it full-fledged. We also, as the city, provided some community development block grant dollars to Wellspring to help them expand and to help continue to educate the children over in that area. So the investment has to be complete and it has to be pure. So now we're focusing on Chatham Street to make sure that we reduce and eliminate the stuff that's over there. So it's in action. It's in motion right now. I'm letting you know the easiest way to deal with the issue that you talked about, folks piling on trash, and then we come out and remove it, and they come back, is to remove the blight in the first place. So that's what we're working on right now.
Well, thank you. Then you have to start on Lamfer because that's the street
It's coming.
It's coming. All right, but I have to, and this was going to be my issue today. We've had 4 start dates on this site, the MSU site. The latest message I got, I tracked this down, was it's being held up because a pipe they thought was 8 inches is on the plan is really 10 inches, but they thought they read it as 8 or something. So it's being held up in a particular department in the city. There's a new president at Michigan State. The last president highly endorsed this project. The new one may not. And if the information gets to him about how many starts we've had, he might just say, scrap it. It's a reality. And so they're afraid they don't want him to get wind of this. So we have to do something. I mean, this has been going on for 4 years, and they're also could you lose the construction company because they have to keep their guys working, and they keep getting stonewalled.
So here's my question. Daniela, can you make sure you put this on our list, please? As I told you, Diane, no one calls us, no one contacts us, and you've made that mention here, and I said, please let them know, because they need to let us know, my office, what those issues are. Nothing. So we're going to go and try to call them, whoever's the best contact, but we need them to let us know as well from my office, from the legislative side, so we can try to address some of those issues, because again, as we know, it's the check and balance. Administration, legislation.
I'm beginning to think it's a bad joke on the community, but this is something really great for Detroit. And when the mayor talks about the neighborhoods and helping them, this is something that's not costing us any money, and it's going to help a great deal in Riverdale because we are going down the tubes fast, and I see this as a way to kind of save it.
Diane, can you talk a little bit? Someone over here asked, can you give just a little overview of what was promised by the MSU Extension Center?
They want to set up an area that they can study like urban farming and soil and things like this for students and instructors. So they have like a 100-year lease, and I've seen the plan. There's going to be an area where they'll have community gardens that people can either do flowers or whatever they want. They may study trees there. It's all contingent on grant money that different entities. They're going to do they have to do $33,000, I think, in community programming for their rent. That's their rent to the city. And there are certain areas the city wants them to cover, but they've already done a course on gardening, finance, and robotics for kids, and they operated out of the Wellspring building. So what's happening now is the whole site isn't getting developed all at once like hoped because of the issues, the scandal that happened, and they've lost a lot of money. But they want to start now with the one building on Chatham, and they're supposed to plant trees probably in the fall at one end and really improve our neighborhood. And it'll be a place where we can all go, anyone in Michigan, to walk around, to learn things, and as a resource. And we can take classes. There'll be classes for adults. I mean, it's just a really exciting thing. There's only one other urban center like this in the country, and it's operated by Rutgers University.
There is no other in the city of Detroit.
No, this is a boon. This is a boon for our area, for all of us. So, and I'm on the board. I don't know for how much longer because I'm getting pretty frustrated waiting. But I want to make sure that we reach out to everybody and provide services that we want.
So Diane, there's no deaf ears here. We're going to make sure we take that back and see what we can do to address
Well, and I did want to talk privately to you about politically the best way to, light a fire. So.
The fire has begun. It has begun. Anything else for Latrice before I got Doug back here? He's been very patient, keeping his hand up. Oh. You got one over there? So let Carol, and then Doug next, after Carol.
I just wanted to address Cook Park, the playground. There's standing water there now, where the playground area, the swings and everything is, and also the fencing in the rear of that area of the playground it's a big hole there where someone has tried to take the fence. There's a lot of tree limbs in that area. It's not, I don't consider it safe when the kids are up there. And a lot of times I've noticed, because I walk there every day, that there's some unsupervised kids there. So my concern is for their safety. And then with the standing water issue with the mosquitoes, and it's so close to where the actual equipment is that the kids play on. So that would be something that I would like for them to take a look at, if they can kind of clear that up or put some sand or something down there, to absorb the water until it completely dries up.
Okay, so that's not the first complaint I've gotten on Cook Elementary or received on Cook Elementary. We have been working with the principal and DPS. They are going to be redoing that playground. I don't know if it's going to happen next year, but they are aware of the
better news to that is tomorrow at the District 1 monthly meeting, we'll have the Deputy Superintendent of Detroit Public Schools Community District there, so you'll be able to communicate that information, any information that you have at all to DPSCD.
The example that was offered several times of people moving and then putting a bunch of garbage out on their curb is an interesting one, because of the arbitrary and capricious rules for accessing the DPW yard. There's no way for people who are cash-strapped and moving to get rid of a bunch of the crap that they need to get rid of when they're moving. So they have a bunch of bags of garbage or whatever, they're moving, they've got a U-Haul. They can't go to the DPW yard to get rid of that garbage because the rules are ridiculous and unevenly enforced.
So that is one that we thought about in the past. I didn't bring it up recently. So U-Haul, you're not allowed to bring or utilize a U-Haul if you're transporting trash. So
the rules of the DPW yard are insane.
Every single time I've ever been in the DPW yard, which is probably a dozen times,
Aisha.
I've been banned for life. Like a dozen times. Yeah. The last time I got banned for life was because I put a bag of garbage into the garbage dumpster instead of into the lawn refuse dumpster. So it's not a place that I can safely recommend normal people to go to. Which is ridiculous. If you want to get rid of a bunch of people who are moving and putting garbage on the curb, if you want to deal with that, let them take that U-Haul, fill it with garbage, go to the place where the garbage goes, and get rid of it in a responsible way. There is no responsible path for cash-strapped people to do the right thing because of the goblins who work at the DPW yard.
So I will say that the U-Haul edict is not exclusive to Detroit.
Okay.
That's one that's across the board. I remember when I was in Alabama and I was moving out the items out of my now deceased. Let me finish. Out of my now deceased grandmother's home, we tried to take the stuff in a U-Haul and they said no as well. We tried another location, same thing. My cousin in Cleveland, same issue. So we've got to figure out. I don't know exactly why. And again, it was when it came before us before. I did think about it and I didn't follow up on it. So that's my fault. Daniela, if you can put that on the list, and we can at least give you an idea of why this is part of the process, and then we can start chipping away and seeing what we can do to address that issue itself. But as of right now, it's not just exclusive to Detroit. We got to figure out why.
Good morning, Captain Moon. I renovate a lot of properties that tend to have an excessive amount of leftover things from the Detroit Land Bank that they get. I buy properties from Detroit Land Bank, and a lot of them are still filled with garbage and things that was left over by the previous owner, as well as overgrown in the backyard. Is there a program or anything that can help contractors get rid of this waste who are coming through just emptying out these houses? Because what I've ran into is that once I clean them out, even if I put it outside properly, they still don't pick it up because it's quote unquote an abandoned home because it still has boards on the windows. Well, I have 7 days, or I think 14 days by the land bank to clear this house out. So I'm not gonna have the house ready and pretty in 14 days, you know. But I gotta get this place clean, I gotta get the yard clean, I gotta get it secure. And like you said, cash trap, I might be out of $700-800 just trying to clean out other people's stuff before I can even work on the property.
But I know that, to be fair, land bank homes are as is, right? Yes.
Yeah. So,
okay,
well, the two different ways they go about it. You know, you can buy on it now, or.
But I'm saying, man, if you buy the house, that's your responsibility, right?
Yeah.
Let's be real.
Yeah.
So the other thing, though, you did raise a issue that maybe there's a solution there for land bank properties that we are asking people to expedite repairs and renovations. That maybe there's a contact, a phone number, or some kind of line to the land bank, to the department that says, okay, here's a list of the properties that appear to be vacant, and they are vacant, but they're owned by individuals who are
rehabbing.
Yeah, rehabbing, and they have been cleared by us. Because what you don't want, we have a huge issue, as you know, with vacant properties in the city, and it's challenging for the crews that are out there to just sweep all together, because that's unfortunately not part of the contract. But we do. I think there is a way that we can address that issue you're talking about, working with the Department of Public Works as well as the land bank.
I was thinking of an idea that maybe work, may not. We have 14 days to clear this house out. If we can get a one-time grace, like, hey, you got 14 days to get everything you can outside on the curb, and we'll come out and pick it up one time. Then after that, then we're responsible. But at least give us that, even if it's 3 days. On closing, 3 days later, get everything out of the house. We'll come pick it up one time. And then after that, it's on us.
That sounds reasonable. You just got to figure out how to put the mechanics together. It sounds reasonable to me.
They can pay the city to do a big pickup.
Yeah, so I was just getting ready to say that. So a lot of you guys don't know, like, so to avoid a big ticket, you can actually call the city. They will come out, like, you put and I'm not saying it's cost effective. I don't know how much it costs. They charge by Mic up, okay. You can call DPW, they will come out and actually pick the stuff up from the curb, and they will charge you for doing that. But it's another way instead of having to go to the dump if you have stuff on the curb to get it picked up without getting a ticket for it being out there. I do agree with Councilman here about some type of like flagging the fact that you guys own that house now, and so that trash can get picked up during bulk day. I agree with that 100%. I think that's a great idea. So we'll take that to the land bank as a suggestion.
And DPW, because
And
it takes
DPW,
both of them
yeah.
to work. So any other questions for Latrice, because she's got to get out of here.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Ms. Fraggins, how are you?
I'm doing great. I'm wondering why the city and Advanced Disposal are not on the same page. Because I put my recycle bin out, because now everything is together. Garbage, bulk, recycle. I did this last week. I got a ticket, a warning, simply because Advance did not pick up my recycle. So I immediately on Tuesday called Advance Disposal to let them know. They said it would be 72 hours before they could come back. In the meantime, I got this here. Simmons. I called her 4 times. I even called the office. The number is on here. And she never called, to this day, she has never called me back. So, I called Advanced Disposal again. They came out, the recycle came out, got my neighbors, which is next door. She had bulk and recycle that was out there. They came and picked up hers, but my one little recycle can, they didn't touch it. So I had to put it in my backyard. So why can't Advance and City of Detroit be on the same page? Because today I took a picture of my neighbor across the street, garbage can sitting out there.
So
garbage comes on Monday.
Is this the second week that it has occurred, or first week?
Say it again.
Is this the second week that they missed the pickup, or the first week that it's occurred?
It was the first week, which was last week they were supposed to have done this.
Right. So what? I think you weren't here when we. Have pushed it forward, as I mentioned to the team, to the folks who were here, that we have pushed forward no less than 15 of homes throughout the district. Some of those locations is the entire block. We got a resident over here, her entire community was missed. So it's a major issue right now. I was on the phone with the department director, and he had Advanced in his office at that particular time. So we're working to address that. I'm also working with the mayor's office to make sure that we follow up with it. So they promised that come Monday, because that's a lot of our areas over here,
right,
that issue that we have had in the past will not happen. But what we do need you to know is that mistakes may still happen. What I do need you to know is let us know in real time. Because otherwise, we'll be back here 2 weeks from now complaining about something that happened 2 weeks ago. So make sure you pull us in, and we're going to follow up to make sure that your location is on that list of, I won't call it special priority, because all of them should be special priority, but to make sure they address your block. So Daniela has your information.
Okay, the other issue, I did call the tree to let her know that the owner of the house next door to me was here. I wanted you to catch it, because that backyard is awful. And it causes me a problem, because
we got it. So our inspector has been, she was probably there because she's received some blight tickets. So she's gonna pop up. So as we talked about your situation and getting our inspectors out, right? So we've been putting some heat on that particular property, and people are popping up because they don't want to pay, they want to fix it before it gets worse. And so we are working with that homeowner, the person that owns their home. That's why she's popping up. So it's not going to be unlikely that you see her a few more times because she's going to try to fix the property so she can stop getting tickets and all that. Okay.
Okay, and what about that code on that house?
About the what?
Brenner's, the code.
Yeah, we're on it. Our inspector is handling all of that. Randy Schumann, he has been out there. He is it is top priority on his list, and that's why she's popping up. Okay.
What about that front porch?
All of that. So I'm gonna exit off because this is Councilman Tate's meeting. Thank you guys. I will be sitting over at that table if you need me. If you have any concerns, addresses, blight issues. Again, my name is Latrice McClendon. I'm your District 1 Manager with Department of Neighborhoods Mayor's Office. I'll be right there. I'm gonna turn this meeting back over to Councilman Tate. Thanks for having me. Appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Y'all give it up for Latrice, please. Thank you, ma'am.
Anybody driving a white Escalade out front? Yeah,
Period.
Need to move. Well, the police want to know.
So what we're going to do is go around the room. If you've already had your issue addressed, then pass the mic. If you don't have anything to add, pass the mic. But if you do, we're here to help address your issues.
Thank you. I'd like to first thank you and Latrice for all the good that you've done for this community. And I think that you guys are on top of a lot of things. A lot of things I've brought up, even in anger with you, have come through and are being addressed. And I'm not sure if a lot of people are aware of that. There's a lot of different issues. I think that's amazing that we can have this table here and we can all talk to you, and Danielle's writing all this stuff down that you can address and you go after it. I appreciate you and Latrice. To address what the contractor over here was saying, I'm in construction too. I bought land back, big houses. I think that's you get it as it is. I don't think that should be something that the city should incur, especially since a lot of the people that are buying them aren't from the city and are investors. It sounds like he's an investor. I think that should be something that a dumpster. I think that should be a dumpster that is just straight on the construction side. I don't think that's something the city should have to do. The other thing about the DPW, I'm not sure if everyone knows this, but you can, with your license, go to the DPW or the advanced dump. I think it's right at 96 and Southfield, right?
I think that's what he's talking about.
Right, that's what he was talking about. But I've never really had an issue with it. So, I mean, a lot of the stuff that they're trying to help with, these small things, the trash in front of the non-compliance, these kind of things, we could band together and we could do it ourselves instead of putting it on them when they got a lot of other stuff they got to think about. So, if we can take it there ourselves, if we can band together, self-correct, then maybe we can get some bigger things done than just this small stuff. Thank you.
I appreciate it. We do now for the kudos, but thank you for it. But also, we do need to do our part as well from the city standpoint. We all need to band together. The good news is, when you look around the room, these are pretty much the folks who are banding together, which is so awesome. But we've got people who, no matter what we try to do, just won't get right. They won't do what we need them to do. And those are the ones who are causing all the pain and pressure on all of us. Again, we're going to still try to work together and collaboratively to get those things done, but it does start, some of these issues start with the community, but it's not just a one-way street, it's two-way. So we appreciate the kudos, but we're not done yet.
I don't have a complaint today. But I did want to try to do a PSA. It may be of service to somebody in the room or to the community. I said about 3 weeks ago, there was a news item that there was an imposter from DTE going through the community, and somebody even let some DTE representative in their house, and they got robbed or what have you. So about a week ago, that made my antenna go up because I live on the street. Okay, so about a week ago, a young man came to my door, and he said he was from DTE. He had on a hard hat, the vest, the boots. So I asked him for his identification. He said, I don't have my card. Yeah, so I asked him a few few other things and it didn't come out right. He wanted to get in my yard. I keep my gate locked. And he wanted to get in the backyard to presumably cut down trees. I saw no trucks. No cones, because they had just been out a couple of weeks earlier and did trimming.
I think that's why the Capitol tried to capitalize.
Yeah, and so here he was, and then the last thing he asked me was, give me your address so I can tell my boss. And I looked at it. I said, the address is on the house. So, and I told him, I said, well, when you come back with some identification or some authorization, I'll let you in the yard. And he was gone. But I did call DTE. They said he should have at least had a badge. And I called the police and they said, we'll send somebody out. They didn't, but I'm assuming maybe they patrolled the neighborhood to see if they could spot him. So, but look out for somebody saying, we're from DTE and we want to cut your limbs, you know.
And one thing that I would say, even if you don't have it, I would, it's always a good bluff, let the individual know that you're being recorded right now. That will potentially get them out of the area and certainly out of your face. So whenever you have a situation where you think that someone is trying to pull something over you, let them know you're being recorded right now.
On that note, being a law enforcement family, everybody has a phone that takes pictures. Take pictures of these people. Get those faces, because that's another way they can get them.
Hello, everyone. This is my first meeting. I'm not here with a complaint. I am here as part of the Detroit Health Department, our Infant Safe Sleep program. So I am a community health worker, and today I just wanted to come and share with you all a resource that we have available to parents and grandparents in the city of Detroit. And so if anyone's interested in learning more about the program, I have a lot of our class flyers. We do provide free portable cribs to parents in Detroit. And so I'm looking to connect with your block club, with your grandparents groups, with your church groups, because we want to share this information more than just
Just in case, because we also stream this meeting. Actually, want to move over just a little bit. How can people contact you?
So we can be reached at the Detroit Health Department. I have flyers here with me with our phone number. Our phone number is 313-410-5264. We do encourage parents and anyone looking for resources to call the city's resource line, which is 313-961-BABY. And so we want to share the information about getting parents the information on how to keep their babies safe while they sleep. We want to reduce the number of preventable sleep-related deaths that we have in our city to 0. And so we do that by holding educational events, community baby showers, and also distributing the free portable cribs to eligible parents in our city.
How old is a baby from birth to what?
1 year old, yes. So the phone number is 313-410-5264. And then the resource hotline for parents or anyone who's looking for resources to assist families is 313-961-BABY.
Just one last time, what's the name of the program again?
It is Infant Safe Sleep. So Detroit Health Department Safe Sleep. So if you see any of our flyers around, that's what we do. We pass out the portable cribs and we teach parents the ABCs of safe sleep. Babies should always sleep alone, on their backs, in a crib, and in smoke-free air. And that's pretty much our gist of our education. Thank you.
Thank you for being here.
So the suggestion was made that we could like band together and do stuff. I'm sorry, I'm gonna be the guy who complains about the same thing multiple times. But I actually have done that. We organized around Old Redford to take garbage to the dump, and we were repeatedly turned away because apparently if you take garbage to the dump more than once, you're a contractor, which is insane.
Okay, say we're gonna work on it. So we'll talk to you offline. I can't defend it.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm George Etheridge. In addition to being a proud neighborhood association president here in District 1, I am the Castle Rouge Civic Association president, which is at 96 and Telegraph. So I'm your neighbor to the south and to the west. So I'm as far southwest as you can get in District 1. I'm also an executive board member for the Metro Youth Day Foundation. Metro Youth Day will be celebrating its 37th year this year on July 10th, Wednesday, July 10th at Belle Isle at the athletic field. We are having free activities for youth ages 8 through 18. We have food and games and educational opportunities, scholarship opportunities, arts and crafts, hands-on things, a talent show, which is a wonderful opportunity. We're giving away 15 scholarships this year. I am partnering with some local partners, and we will be providing shuttle services from District 1 to Belle Isle on July 10th. We're going to be leaving at 7 a.m. from City Covenant Church off of Schoolcraft, and the bus will be returning at 3 p.m. If you aren't able to catch the shuttle, if you could just get your kids to MGM Casino, there's a shuttle to take them to the athletic field and back. If you feel like driving on the island, if you get them to Scott Fountain, there's a shuttle to get your kids to the athletic field and back. This is an absolutely free event. It's its 37th year. Last year we had 38,000 young people that attended Metro Youth Day. We're looking to top that this year. If you have any questions about the shuttle services, I'll give you my number. It's 313-590-5044. Again, that's 313-590-5044. We're looking to have our young people come out and have a wonderful, productive event. Thank you.
And I just want to give you a shout out to George. So George Etheridge is his name. He's also a member of the City Planning Commission. He's part of the team in Legislative Policy Division. So he works with City Council. He's not here because we invited him. This is a gentleman who just gets involved in the community as a whole. And this shuttle service is not the first time that he and his community has done this. He did that during the winter time. It was bitter cold. Talk about that, George.
So in January, where we had the Winter Blast in downtown Detroit over a 4-weekend period, we had a number of free events, but too often children in our area don't have access to transportation. We all know that transportation is a barrier not only to education but to employment. So again, I connected with a local vendor, and we had a shuttle service that ran for a 6-hour period, just back and forth between the District 1 community, particularly Brightmoor, and Campus Martians, dropping young folks and their families off and Campus Martians to participate in Winter Blast, because we all know that the city of Detroit is more than just the downtown and midtown areas. But while a lot of activities do take place down there, it's important that our young people have an opportunity to participate. So that's why we do what we do.
All right, appreciate it, George. Any questions? Somebody have a question for George? No? Okay. All right, thank you so much, George. We appreciate you. Let's keep that mic on first.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
My name is Renee Ferguson. I'm the community coordinator with the Schoolcraft Improvement Association. In our neighborhood, there's a proposed medical marijuana facility being proposed for our neighborhood, where there are houses. And I know that there are many suburban neighborhoods and communities and cities that are opting out of medical marijuana. How can a community like the Schoolcraft Improvement Association opt out of medical marijuana? And what is the process for doing so, just like some of the other communities?
So the opt-out option is not for a particular neighborhood, it's for the municipality itself. So an opt-out would have to be for the city of Detroit. As of right now, and I'm going to be completely honest, there's no desire to opt out from the city of Detroit standpoint. It is an opportunity for revenue. We have to make sure that we look at how do we structure it within the city of Detroit, and also who's affected by it. In addition to that, how do we increase opportunities for Detroiters? So the opt-out right now, at least from the council standpoint, is not prevalent in terms of, and I would say, I am not supportive of the opt-out just yet. It doesn't solve the issues. If you look at the voting that took place, overwhelmingly people voted to support medical marijuana in the city of Detroit. So I don't want to put my taste in what I want personally, potentially, on what the voters have come out and said that they support. So the question now is, how do we make sure that we don't harm particular neighborhoods? The challenge we have is that area that you're talking about is zoned industrial. Right across the street, yes, it is residential, but that's zoned industrial. Right now, because of the way that it's zoned, I don't believe that there's anything that can be done to stop that. Have you guys, and you have gone down to the
Yes, we
city
went to
planning
the
commission?
public hearing, and they first were denied, so we did get the denial letter, and then they appealed, and so now we have to go back for another public hearing, because they can appeal twice, and we can also appeal twice. So we are in a fight, and we just don't believe that for that area, all that we've worked for, that has been one thing that we've fought against over the years, is drugs, crime, and blight. And that's what the Schoolcraft Improvement Association has been all about over these years. And it would just be a shame to have someone come in from out of state, from somewhere else. It's a good thing. It's not a good image for our neighborhood and what we've worked so hard for, to have quality of life for our residents in that area. So that's what we're fighting for.
Now the balance side of it is that that area, as we know, and I grew up over there, has been vacant for a number of years.
Which area?
The area that they're looking to try to
the actual
blighted.
building.
It's been blighted for a number of years.
And a lot of
it sat there, and no one has looked to invest in that area because it is industrial. I'm not saying just take anything, because I got a problem with one of the businesses that just popped up over there. We're addressing that with the meeting that we're going to have in a few weeks.
Yes.
But I don't want to. We got to be honest about what we're dealing with that particular plot of land. It's not an easy one to redevelop. It is one that is legal in terms of the ordinance that allows for industrial. It's a very different situation in most locations, but because it is industrial, it is zoned industrial, it gives them a opportunity that they wouldn't be able to do so elsewhere. There's not one 1,000 feet away from it. It's not any other violation. They have found a location that complies with the law. Now the appeal, I wouldn't say stop the appeal because that's your neighborhood. Keep appealing. But don't think that they're not going to appeal as well. It's going to continue to go up the chain of courts until somebody's going to have to make a final decision. That won't be me. I can't make that decision.
Right.
The opt-out right now, I don't have a taste for it personally, because it's more than just one location. This location, you got to look at it from a holistic standpoint, from the city standpoint. How do we transform the way that it's operating? That's the key. But right now, it's in the hands of the folks who deal with the appeals and the courts. It's out of my hands. It's out of council's hands, to be honest with you.
Well, when we talk about building communities and having these neighborhood groups that work so hard, the sweat equity that we put in over the years, and with so many people on our side from our neighborhood who are against us, we just hope that the City of Detroit Board of Zoning, people who are in power, will hear our cry and hear our voices, and that hopefully all the organizing that we've done for that neighborhood, know that all the work that we put in, that we have the power to come together and fight against something that we really don't believe in for the quality of life, for our kids. There are a lot of kids in that area. It's a pathway over to O'Shea, which just opened up the new park. There are people who live in those houses who are members. And I know I wouldn't want to come out and sit on my porch and see a building that's manufacturing drugs right in my face. It just doesn't make sense. So as our council person, we just wanted you to know that, and just wanted to put it out there because it makes me very emotional to know that, Brian and I thought about moving years ago, but we decided to stay here because we thought we could make a difference in our neighborhood.
And you are. It's clear.
But for something like that, it's just a poor image, and it's something that we're against. And we're not just fighting for us; we're fighting for other neighbors and residents, and seniors and kids who feel the same way that we do. So that's all we're saying, and we're just hoping that someone hears us and sees the work that we've done, and we just hope that it matters in this situation.
So again, I thank you for the work that both of you have done. I've seen what life was like before you guys got completely involved, and I see how it looks now. And to see how you've been able to bring the community together has been astonishing. I always talk about Schoolcraft Improvement Association when I talk about a group that started this way and now is like this. And you're always looking at trying to figure out new ways to involve the community and get them more educated about what's going on. And a sense of unity takes place there. The challenge again in this situation is if we would lose completely, and so the city loses, money goes into their coffers, and they still end up being there. That's why it has to go through the chain of the appeals individuals who have the right to do it. It has no bearance at all upon the work that you all do. But the reality is we have the law that is in place, and they are based upon the ordinance. They found a location that allows for them to do so. It is industrial. It's not residential. Unfortunately, right across the street, you do have homes that are listed there, that are there. But on that plot where they are, it's residential. And even if we were to change the face of that now, they already got in when the law was in effect, or when the ordinance was in effect. So our best bet, if it is approved, is to build that relationship with that entity to ensure that they are not just coming in and bleeding our city or our neighborhood, right? They're doing what is necessary, but I can't promise that they can or that they will or will not. I don't know. But I do know that they're zoned right now to allow for that use. But it's up to the appeals entities to now take it to that point. And I will say this as well. As someone who I try to be objective. I've gone to a number of these locations because I did create the ordinance, working with the law department, working with the police department, working with building and safety, all of these different departments, and we crafted the best ordinance that I think that we could do under the circumstances. It's clear that residents of the city won. We voted for it. I know individuals may not have voted for it, but when you look at the tally, they won. And so now we've got to figure out how to make it work for our community. And we can, I'll do this quite often. I poll the room. There's potentially going to be a group of folks who are for it and a group of folks who are not. And that is any issue that we have. And so in this situation, we've got to figure out, in the event that it does happen, how do we make it still work and not work against our community? Again, as I said, I've been to some of these locations. You would never know that they are at least a warehouse, marijuana facilities. I think what they're trying to do there is also sell at that location and combine the two. But I will also say this, and this is not me defending these facilities at all, for the record. But what I will say is, we don't have a lot of crime issues at those locations. They go in and they go out. Now, you do have some that are problematic, just like any other business. But overall, we don't have a huge amount of calls for services at those locations. A lot of these people get in, get out, and get away. Consuming in the parking lot, against the law, violation. It can get you shut down immediately. Being able to smell it from the outside, against the law. It can get you shut down immediately. So we have put in provisions that allows for us to take away that privilege, so to speak. But right now, they have taken advantage. Complied. Let me not say taking advantage. They complied with what was put in front of them. And now you as the community have an opportunity, and you're doing it to fight back in the way that has been provided through appeals, but all of the appeals have to be exhausted. I can't intervene from my standpoint at this in council. Fight of all the work that you have done. We appreciate it, totally. But right now, hands are tied based upon the situation that we're in. We hope that the desires of the community is fulfilled based upon the appeals, but in the event that it doesn't, we have to be prepared for that as well based upon the situation.
Just one more thing. Just with the location of the building, it's like the gateway. It's on Glendale. It's the gateway into our neighborhood and out. So whatever they're doing in there, just knowing that that's the kind of activity that's happening there, it's just like for us, for so many of us who aren't in agreement with it being there. I know it's here, and I get it, and it's money, and I understand that, and we understand that. Just that spot right there, it's just not, it is industrial, but the location of it just does not fit. Just like they say they have a brand and all that, we have a brand too as a community, and that doesn't fit with everything that we've built and done there in that facility. I mean, in that area where that facility is located. So that's all. We're just making it known, and we're just hoping that community wins over money in this instance. That's
Well, it's not necessarily money. It's law. It's law. They're complying with what's been. So here's my other question, and definitely your other half, not your better half, your other half. Right? I know him too well. Great guy. But what? Tell me, where would you say is the right place for it? Because they are in an industrial area.
Somewhere where people.
Where? Help me out. Help me out.
Well, I don't know all the locations, but a place where there aren't houses where people can come and sit out on their porch, and the building is right there where kids are playing on those streets. There are a lot of children on that block, and so just a place where it's not so connected to a neighborhood. You know, I mean, that doesn't make sense.
It does. We had the same situation in Southwest Detroit because we have a street, I think it's Green Street in Southwest, a similar situation as well. Again, unfortunately, it's industrial, and that's the way that it was carved out. So
A more commercial, maybe, setting where there's not, it's like, it's in our neighborhood. That's what it seems like, because if you come down Glendale, what do you see? That building. When you come in through Glendale off of Greenfield, there's that building. It's like, it's right there. And it's just not a good spot for it. And maybe somewhere where there aren't houses where people will sit on their porch and read their newspaper and have a cup of coffee.
President of School Craft Improvement Association. As you can see, my community coordinator, she's very passionate about it, right? We have worked pretty hard. It's really a bad taste on me knowing that the work we put in, and somebody from Colorado comes here and dictate what's going to happen in our neighborhood. That's not fair, all right? If it hadn't been somebody that lived in our neighborhood and worked with us and said, hey, Brian, we want to put one up here, I probably could have stomached that a little bit better. You know, you put the sweat equity in, okay, get some fruit. That place on that corner right there used to be a candy factory, and it was slated to be torn down. We have had so many community cleanups there, it's ridiculous, right? I get it, the guy got it for a song and a dance, probably got it for $2,000. He said he's going to put $2.4 million into that building. You could tear that building down and make a better building than that. You're asking me, where could he put it? There's some industrial places down there by, closer to the freeway, near Evergreen. There's no houses over there. Stick it there. We have 163 square miles of Detroit. They could find somewhere to put it. And then he could start a transportation place. Like they say, it's a big need for the people in the community. Why not? But like you said, if we gotta have it here. When I hear industrial, I don't think of drugs, weed. I don't think of that industrial. Farming maybe, because you're growing something, right? When I hear industrial, I hear concrete, wood, and fixing a house or something like that. That's not what I hear for industrial. For somebody to vote for B4, Zone B4, industrial, I don't think of that as being a weed manufacturing plant. I don't know. I mean, I don't know how they come up with that. And I would love to be there. Who on the other side of that table said, yep, I'm for that. Then me and him need to have a conversation. I know you guys are put in a bad position. Trust me, I do, and I get it. It is money. And if that money can help us out, I want to see it right away. Because like you said, if it's going to come here, give us something for it. Like a neighborhood community benefit agreement. Okay, I can go for that too. I ain't going to like it. Trust me, I'm not.
So that is actually baked into the resolution, the ordinance that we have. They have to have engagement with the community. That increases their opportunity. But the state law is what we're bound by.
And there was a lot of loopholes.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for one of our members, we never would have known about the ordinance. We would have never known about the hearing. We wouldn't have known. 300 feet? That's like from here to there. That's nowhere. And for the young man that sat there and said he didn't know anything about our community, it's a big sign saying, welcome to School Craft Improvement Association, right there on the pole, right across the street from where the building's going to be. That's a slap in the face to us, you know? Like she said, well, all we work for, and then you come in here and dictate what you're going to do in our neighborhood. It's rough. That's not what our community was made for. Our slogan is building a better neighborhood for our community. That's our slogan. Not for that.
So, and then we're gonna definitely move around. But let me just ask, what are the things that you are against regarding that facility? Is it the fact that it is marijuana being produced inside, period? Is it the thought of what it may bring in terms of derelict individuals, or what's the fear or challenge that you?
All of that. We have a school right down the street from there. You walk out of Dawson and you look down Glendale, you can see that big building sitting right there. It's an eye shot. You can see it. So here we are preaching to the kids, stay away from drugs, get a good job, go to school, and this is what happened. But there's a medical marijuana place right down the street. How can we tell them to do that, and it's right here in the neighborhood?
So you're saying just the fact alone that it is marijuana inside, period, no matter how it looks, how it operates, any type of relationship that they may have or you build with the community, none of that will matter. It's the fact it's just got to go.
I had a conversation. Green, you would never know it's in there. Could you deal with that? Absolutely, I could. I told her. I had to be honest. Yes, because I don't know what's in a lot of those buildings. You asked me, I couldn't tell you what's in the building. I don't know. They could be doing anything in there. I can deal with that. If it's going to be here, I can really deal with that. But for you to say you're going to be selling it, that's what the guy told us. He's going to sell it. He's going to manufacture it. He's going to have traffic running in and out. I mean, he had it laid out.
And I'm like, he's going to also have workshops to teach our people.
Kids.
To teach our people how to make money and package it and sell it.
So here's the other side to that. Do you know who's benefiting from this industry in Detroit? Not Detroiters.
No.
And I understand you don't want it in your neighborhood, but we have to look at all sides.
So how come our focus can't be on something else?
Because
Educating
that's what's
about
there.
other businesses. Why is marijuana now the main thing that we're hearing in the news? No one's talking about anything else. It's just this marijuana. And it's like, there's so much other stuff that we could be doing and putting energy into. And I know there's a need for it. People who have illnesses or whatever, and have to have it, okay, that's fine. If it's here, we get it, we understand. We're just talking about the strategic locations of how it could ultimately.
Now, off that stuff.
Yes, sir.
The second part about this, not the second part, but on a different subject, the houses. They're saying they're trying to get the houses down. Okay, I understand there's a thing that got put in place when the consent agreement got passed that you had to tear the basements out, right?
Yeah, it wasn't a consent agreement, but it was part of the agreement with the landlord.
Right, so you had to tear the basements out. Can somebody modify that a little bit? Because all the houses have been torn out. Not one brand new house has been built up on that. Not one. Not one. maybe people are putting community gardens there, but they're putting plastic barriers down to keep the stuff from going straight down into the ground. A lot of them are, because we do that too, right? We don't want to go all the way down. We put plastic up, so we don't want to go down inside that dirt, because we don't know what's in that dirt. Can we modify that? So let's just say right now, it costs $10,000 to take a house down. Could we say $5,000, we throw stuff in the basement within reason, cover it up with a little bit of dirt, that way we're not spending that much money on dirt. And then if somebody wants to buy that land, we sell the land to them and say, well, hold on, we give might do that and they might build on that. You know, but if you want these houses down quicker, that might be a way to do it. Because the faster you knock a couple more down, like in that area, there's a couple more houses popping up. And that might stop some of the blight. I'm thinking, because what we're doing now, we're just chasing our tail, seems like right now. That's what it seems like we're doing now, chasing our tail. That's not right.
Thank you. My name is Annie Holt. I am a precinct delegate and I live a member of Grandmont number 1. I'd like to say thank you, Councilmember Tate, for opening up your meeting, your coffee hour meeting, and allowing a very lengthy dialogue as it related to the facial Thank you for coming to the hearing. And some of the folks who were at your meeting also made a presence and spoke their comments relating to the facial recognition technology. And I understand these people. And you have to know that Councilmember Tate was on board soon after we realized we passed medical marijuana in 2008. When we saw all these facilities cropping up in our neighborhoods, we were kind of confused. We tagged on to Councilmember Tate, and he did his due diligence to create ordinance and to make it palatable for us. And then, of course, most recently, we voted to support recreational. So I know he's being pulled apart because of the challenges he's encountered trying to make this okay for us. I'm talking about the census. We submitted to the census in 2010, the city of Detroit, because we did not follow through. And every person in the city of Detroit who should have completed a census form did not. So the city of Detroit lost $3,960,000,000. We are afraid that if we don't get out the word that the census will be coming down the pike in April of 2020, that for a lot of reasons, people might not submit to the census. The city of Detroit is leading the charge to make sure Detroiters are aware of the urgency of completing the census. I have kicker cards today. I am prepared to attach my phone number to these kicker cards. And if you are interested in having the city or myself come out to your various organizations or churches to talk on the urgency of the census, I asked the council member if it's okay to share these cards. Okay, thank you again for all you do in this city.
Thank you as well, Commissioner. So we are winding down, getting close to the 1 o'clock hour, and we have a appointment that Danielle and I have to go to pretty quickly after the meeting. So if we can kind of go across the room and we can, it's like a lightning round. I apologize for that.
Thank you, Councilman Tate. You and your team, I brought to you about a light in front of my house that's been out for years. I've been trying for years to get the light put up. And thanks to you, a representative from the Public Light Authority did come out, Mr. Jamal Harris, and he told me that he remembered when the light was knocked down, and he didn't know why it hadn't been replaced. And he promised that it would be put up, and That's been months ago. So I reached out to him, and he said it had been the weather, but they would take care of it. So if necessary, could you kind of look into that again? And
It's out again, you said?
no, it was still no action.
It never got, yeah. Oh.
Right.
So, Mr. Mandel, I do remember that Aaron was helping you with that issue, and I think there were two of them. One of them may have been replaced.
Right, one was put right up.
Okay, so
The one on Aaron Hall's Mother Street.
I don't think I have anything to do with it. I'm not sure, but okay. So the other one was put up, but which one is not put up?
The one on Asbury Park.
On Asbury Park. Okay, so I'll follow up with Aaron on that one because I know he did make contact with someone. I thought you were going to report that it was up.
I know. I'm like, we're on it though.
No,
as you see, we've been working.
Right. Oh yeah.
We're not gonna let that one drop. So we had the address or the location. You're familiar with it. So Daniela's gonna make sure she sends that to the chain. We'll get a follow up for it.
And one other thing, is there any incentive for people to move their cars on the days that the streets are being swept? I talked to some of the people who sweeping the streets. No tickets, and no tickets are on any of the cars that's in Grandma being issued. The street sweepers came through. My next door neighbor parked in front of my house. They swept them all around in front of his house, around the car, in front of my house. But there's never any tickets issued.
So that means we got to figure out within municipal parking that they can go out and do a sweep. It's hard to say if they come by after, because who's to say that they didn't park the vehicle there after the sweeping took place? And then if they give it to, well, they say no parking between this time and that time, right? Period. There it is.
They need to say no trash
So we'll put that information in there and we'll start moving on that one. Daniela, just heads up. We want to talk to municipal parking and the Department of Public Works about tag teaming the areas where they're doing street sweeping to go no parking on the street. Yes, ma'am.
Hi.
Hello.
I am here, legislator representing Sidewalk Detroit, and thank you for everything that you've done to assist with Sidewalk. And we had a question about, we're trying to get a street banner up here to tell the neighborhood about Sidewalk Festival, but we're having trouble identifying within the city what department gets us to approve that. Because everybody says, oh, we'll call the sign company, and then I call the sign company, and they're like, you gotta go through the city, and then you gotta go, but nobody's giving us any clarity on how to get that done. And then also we're trying to get the street closed for Friday and Saturday to expand the footprint of the festival. And if there's any assistance you can offer us in making those things happen, that would be helpful for everybody.
So now the event is
August 3rd. It's going to be August 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, but we want the streets closed August 2nd and 3rd.
So I've worked with the team, and I say we need to know that well in advance, especially if we're talking about closing streets. And I'm hearing this for the first time that we haven't submitted that request.
It's already been submitted.
Okay, so it has been submitted. Good, so that's a good start.
Yep.
All right, so we will see what we can do to expedite the banner, or at least find out what the issue is. The closing of the street is going to be maybe a little bit more challenging.
Okay.
Because there's services like the DDOT that goes through, and we also have to work with Wayne County, as you know. But we'll try to figure out what we can as soon as we can.
Well,
but before you leave, though, make sure you touch base with Daniela to give her that information.
These questions about the marijuana comments. Is there still a limit of 75 for the city? 75
So, well, not appeals, Board of Zoning Appeals, they have to identify just what that number looks like. that's why in the new ordinance, the amended ordinance, we took the Board of Zoning Appeals out of the ability to do just that. Because we had seen there's some locations, 8 miles, 7 miles, where you have one here, another one here, another one here, and it's in violation of the ordinance that we put in place. And so we have now carved out, and they're not happy about it, but oh well. We've carved out the Board of Zoning Appeals as we move forward with the amended medicinal marijuana ordinance. We are now looking at the regulations that we potentially put in place for the recreation, because again, we're talking statewide. Statewide law that allows for it to exist. We did not opt out. We have not opted out at this point. And I don't think there's a desire from the community as a whole to opt out. So now we have to figure out how, again, to make it not hurt and harm our communities. 75, to answer your question, is that, was that total?
Due to
Well, if the city is the one that allowed it,
OPCA,
then that's the thing that we did is carve them out of the process. Excuse me, Richard.
Yes.
So what we did was we carved out to exist. That's a green light.
Because there's one on 8 Mile Road that BZA approved that's 50 feet right across the street from one that has existed for a few years. You can just walk across the street and go to the proposed marijuana location. So that's one that you're talking about. Another thing that even if these places are approved, they need to respect the people that live on the streets. So you've got locations on 8 Mile. This one in particular is the residents are complaining about the traffic. So that's another way that these places may be more acceptable if they respect the people in the neighborhood that they're near.
When you say the traffic, is it the volume of traffic or the traffic is just
volume of traffic?
On 8 Mile, you said?
8 Mile, yeah. Because they're right on 8 Mile, you know, and they don't have the additional parking that they need. So they are using the streets, you know, and parking. But another thing is, you know, people are allowed to grow marijuana in their homes. Also,
by state law.
Right. So, and that can happen, you don't even know it. You know, at least not saying that I agree with the ones that everyone that's out there, you know, the businesses. But in the neighborhoods, you can have those on your street and you don't even know it unless you smell it. But then that could be someone driving down the street, you know, smoking and then it comes in his window. But I think that's more of an issue also with the homes on the street that are growing and you don't even know it.
It's a state law that allows for it.
Right.
Hi. My name is Nia. I'm from 7 Mile Southfield area. 7 Mile Southfield area, more so 7 Mile going to the 6 Mile and Outer Drive. And my biggest concern is traffic. The traffic over there has been the same since the 90s. It's not just myself. I've talked about this with other people that live within the same area. And we talked about speed bumps on my particular street. I think my street is a little different because it opens up more. So that 7 Mile traffic kind of travels on my street, but not just my street, but that particular area is dangerous. People tend to like avoid it altogether if they don't live over there. And I'm wondering if there are any options for like maybe a traffic enforcement during certain times of day where they do like drag racing a little bit. I can see during rush hour, I do see traffic enforcement over there, but there are certain times of day where it's really not safe. And if you live off 7 Mile, you really don't have an option. I shouldn't have to go all the way down Outer Drive to come home. Just so I don't get rear-ended or T-boned or, you know, God knows what happens.
What street?
I'm on Sunderland.
On Sunderland? You said it's one of the wider streets.
It's a little bit wider, so they probably roll.
So have you guys requested speed humps?
I personally. Now, I know where I live, the block has changed since the 90s, so it's a lot of people who've retired, died. So, you know, it's not the same people. So I just represent everybody.
So you're saying you have or have not?
I requested.
Okay,
yes.
So tomorrow, I believe we've talked about we're going to have an individual who's responsible for the implementation, and it comes through the district manager in our office to make the decision on where these speed humps go. As of, and I mentioned this a couple of weeks ago, as of 2 weeks ago, we had received 150 requests within District 1 alone. We don't have 150 at this moment to do at one time. So what we would have to do is really look and see, do a survey, not just a survey, but a site survey to identify if that's the best spot. But Danielle, can you get her information as well so we can follow up to see if that is a
but
prime
not just
location?
my street, like
Can't do the whole city.
Well, no, not the whole city. I'm not asking for speed bumps for 7 Mile, but I'm saying I drive 7 Mile east to west, so I know how the traffic is. I even know how many lanes are on the street. So going from Evergreen to Southfield, the traffic is different from what it would be from Southfield to Greenfield. It's much faster. People utilize whatever. They don't even have to be from that area, and they can drive a certain way just because they're on 7 Mile. So what can they possibly do, not just during 3 to 5, but you don't really see police presence unless there are unmarked vehicles looking for something. Who's actually enforcing the traffic over there in a specific time of day that needs to be enforced? Because there are still people that live over there and it's not safe. I don't feel unsafe as far as I feel like I'm going to be robbed or I'm going to get killed. Right. I do feel unsafe when it comes to driving down the street. So
what we can do is contact the precinct and find out what their plans are.
Now, so I think I'm gonna wrap it up. I know you said you're trying to leave. The Walgreens on Evergreen and 7 Mile, I thought that was supposed to be like a mini police station. Sometimes they used to leave their car up there for safety measures or just presence. I don't know. Are there any possibilities if we were to ask or to get petitions or whatever for there to be like a mini police station certain times of the day?
So it's a cost, and the building, the facility has to welcome and say, hey, we'll take you. And
I'm sure they do. They got green lights everywhere.
Well, that's part of the reason why they want to do the renovations, because they got green light. So now technology and the speed bumps have transformed the way that the businesses and some members of the community expect policing to take place. So we will get the information from you, and we'll see what we can do to address the issue. Anyone else that we did not have an opportunity? Yes, you do. Yes, you do. You're my meeting. You do. We are, and I'll tell you why. We stream every one of our meetings. Thanks for being here, Commissioner.
Councilman, I know you're torn, and thank you for everything you do back and forth. But I just wanted to help you out with this young lady with the traffic issue. I'll handle that for her. I'll get her information, because we do have a traffic MPO that we put in all the precinct areas now. They have an MPO that just strictly do traffic enforcement, and I'll handle that for you.
Well, let me ask you this. I've been told that they've been assigned out.
No.
Okay. That's what was told to me, that they were assigned out.
We have an MPO that's assigned to do traffic at each precinct area. In each precinct area, we have an MPO, and I'll follow up with her about it. If it's traffic enforcement, just let me know the times, because they're out there, and we can make sure we have someone.
So I think, just let her know who you are.
I'm Daryl Brown. I'm the police commissioner for District 1.
So that's one police commissioner, Daryl Brown, for District 1. And we also have Annie Mae Hope, who is at large district, at large police commissioner. So, cool. We have the information. Anyone else before we wrap up?
I need to make a correction on my numbers. I became overly zealous with
Hold on one second.
Okay.
Yeah, somebody has a mic already.
I became overly zealous with my plea trying to get folks to commit to the census. Really, over the 10 years, the city of Detroit, and don't let this influence your enthusiasm, lost 3.96 million as opposed to trillions. But we still need the money, and we still need folks to get out and do the work. Thank you, Councilmember again.
Hi, really quick, I'm Dana, and this is Marianne, and we represent Elite Women's Organization, and we just wanted to let the community know that we are a community-based organization that's here to support all the communities and all the elected officials. So if you guys need volunteers or anyone to support your community-based groups and any councilmen to volunteer for anything that you need for the community in your district, we are here to help. So we're Elite Women's Organization. I have some cards for you guys. Email us, call us. We're out to support all the communities in Detroit.
So now, as I mentioned, we're streaming. So does that offer apply to folks who are watching?
Yes, anyone who's watching
phone number,
Elite Women's
email?
Organization. I'll pass out the cards for everyone. The phone number is 313-230-8900. Okay,
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Anyone else we missed? Well, again, we want to thank you all for being here. Another District 1 Satellite Hours. Thank you. And, all right. So, I've got a very special announcement to make. We, as I always say, very, very, very proud about my team. They do a tremendous job all the time, every day, all day. Go above and beyond. They do. I sit up here in this seat and I take the questions, and the first thing I do is say, Daniela or Aaron, because I'm very proud of the group that has come together. And I can hire whoever, but it's about making sure that we continue the mission of what you all want. The service is hard, as you hear. We just came in here. Service is hard. Let me just say that. And so I would like to make note that one of our team members is going to be leaving us soon. Yeah. Daniela has found another opportunity. And I just want to publicly, you might as well get ready for it. I'm going to do it again tomorrow. so just wanted to publicly say thank you for everything, Daniela. And we're going to miss you tremendously, not just here in this room here, but also in everything that you've done. Your heart, soul, spirit is tremendous, and I think it has really been a part of everything that we've done. And I think everybody here, you saw the rounding applause that you got when you sat down. A lot bigger than mine. So we appreciate it. We can give her another round of applause for everything that you've done. Y'all can do better, man. Come on now. That's weak. That's for her in her endeavors as she moves forward. So, anything you want to say, or you want to be shy? All right.
I get back in the seat. No, I just want to thank you guys so much for embracing me. I think as I was like taking notes and doing things, I was like, oh my God, remember that first day when you came? And people were like, I'm a regular. And I was like, I know, but I'm new. So just be patient with me. You guys have been more than patient. You guys have been understanding and very steadfast in what you believe. So don't hold on to that. And I think I learned that, being able to be a part of this community. I did go to Redford High School. I do live in District 7. But I love being here. I don't think I could ever work for another councilman. Just because of how he's respected in this community, how he's accessible to everyone. And that taught me a lot too, to not be afraid of your community, right? So I'm really thankful to Councilman for the opportunity to be here. I feel like I've made a lot of friends and family in the office, but also in District 1. So I hope when you guys see me, sometimes I'll be in my own little world. Stop me, say, hey, scream Daniela. If I don't scream at you first. So thank you all so much. I'm trying to keep it dry. I got on my good mascara, but I'm just trying to hold out. So I'll still be around, like Councilman said. I am still taking notes, and there's things that I am sharing with the rest of the team to make sure that everything still moves forward. But you guys will see me definitely at least at potluck. I thought I got that invitation yesterday. So you're not getting rid of me. I know some of you have my contact, my emails. Reach out to me. I'll still be around. I know I might see Miss Bradley dancing. So that maybe I'll have a little time to get back into that. So thank y'all so much. Oh, I'm sorry. My last official day in the office will be July 5th. And I know that's going to be a weird week because of the holiday. But yeah, I'll still be around. I'll be on Facebook and everything else. So I love you guys so much.
All right, with that is the end of our Satellite Hours for the today. Thank you very much, and Lord willing, we will see you in the next meeting, but we'll see you tomorrow for the D1 satellite, D1 monthly meeting.